A debate in the Malaysian Parliament on a report by a Royal Commission of Inquiry relating to the conduct of former Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad over his decision to drop a challenge against a world court ruling on Batu Puteh, also known as Pedra Branca. The report recommended an investigation of the ex-leader over his decision not to pursue a review of that ruling. Afifah Ariffin joins us live from Kuala Lumpur. Afifah, what emerged from this Parliament hearing?
Well, as you said, today Malaysia's Parliament debated the findings of the report by the Royal Commission of Inquiry on Batu Puteh, or as we know, Pedra Branca. And as expected, it was a heated debate with a line very clearly drawn between the government MPs and the opposition MPs. In opening the debate, Law Minister Azalina Othman said that it's clear that the findings of the Commission have very important implications for national security and sovereignty, and that the government is committed to addressing issues raised in that RCI report, including weaknesses in decision-making, governance and coordination between the relevant parties such as federal ministries, agencies, as well as the state governments. But on the other hand, opposition MPs raised a lot of concerns, particularly over the fact that over 40 pages of that 217-page report had been redacted. They questioned how they could debate such an important issue when so much of the report was made unavailable. The opposition lawmakers also argued that the blame shouldn't solely fall on former Prime Minister Dr. Mahathir, who now, as we know, supports the opposition, and that the entire cabinet should be held accountable. They questioned why other cabinet members at that time didn't voice concerns during that particular meeting and asked if they were just yes men. Additionally, they speculated whether there was any political motive behind the report and this entire issue. Now, let's listen into some bits of what went on in Parliament earlier.
Tanggungjawab perlindungan kedaulatan negara harus dikongsi bersama dengan membentuk rangka kerja bersepadu antara kerajaan persekutuan dan negeri yang sudah tentu terdiri daripada anggota pentadbiran dan pejabat awam bagi menjaga kedaulatan, memastikan keselamatan dan integriti wilayah pengairan serta mengekalkan kedudukan negara di pesedada antarabangsa.
Jadi ini adalah satu petanda bahawa laporan ini merupakan satu laporan yang kita rasa ragu dan mungkin ianya mempunyai satu niat mala fide, satu niat buruk terhadap individu-individu tertentu yang menjadi sasaran kepada pihak berkuasa sekarang ini.
Afifah, you mentioned that argument about the blame not necessarily falling entirely on Dr. Mahathir Mohamad and the entire cabinet needing also to take some responsibility. Of course, Dr. Mahathir himself taking up that particular argument. And of course, we've seen claims, accusations from both sides. How have his former colleagues reacted to his claims?
Yes, well, we know Dr. Mahathir has remained firm that he was not solely responsible, and the decision to pursue that sovereignty claim over Batu Puteh was made with a full agreement of cabinet back in 2018. Now, this entire situation has escalated into a public dispute over who is responsible for this controversial decision, with political figures from different sides offering very conflicting views on accountability and the implications for Malaysia's political integrity. So on Thursday, three former ministers from Dr. Mahathir's 2018 cabinet issued a joint statement disputing what Dr. Mahathir had said. At that time, Wan Azizah Wan Ismail was the Deputy Prime Minister, Muhammad Sabu was the Defence Minister, and Anthony Loke was the Transport Minister. Now, the trio claimed that Dr. Mahathir had already made the decision on his own without consulting cabinet, and they stated that Dr. Mahathir should then take full responsibility for the decision rather than shifting the blame onto those who were not involved. And their statement was later supported by the current Home Affairs Minister Saifuddin Nasution. Now, all four of these people, they are now government MPs, with Mr. Lok, Mr. Mohamad and Mr. Saifuddin currently serving as ministers in Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim's cabinet. Now, on the other hand, at the same time, other members of Dr. Mahathir's 2018 cabinet have also come forward to defend him. This includes former Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin, who was then back in 2018 the Home Affairs Minister. Mr. Muhyiddin states that, no cabinet members were prevented from offering their views at that time, and it would be inappropriate for a former Prime Minister to be brought to court simply for a decision made by the government and approved by the cabinet during his administration. And he said that if this were to happen, then it would set a bad precedent for the country.
Thanks, Afifah Ariffin there, reporting live from Kuala Lumpur on this debate in Malaysia's parliament.